North East 5 for bringing it forward.
Bob Blackman.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to support the second reading of this excellent bill and congratulate the member for North East Fife on bringing it forward. It's a timely bill, much needed, and I think is warmly welcomed right across the House. And I trust will proceed smoothly through its passage in this place and indeed in the other place as well. As the Honourable Member said, the world is full of carers who look after people far less fortunate than themselves. And I think we should congratulate them on the work that they do. As the member for Motherwell and Wiltshire just rightly said, we should recognise them and support what they do in every case that we can. We have to face up to, and we had heard in the earlier debate about the fall in the birth rate and that we have an ageing population. So all of us, at one stage or other, will undoubtedly need some form of care. So in some ways, this is an insurance policy for us as we go forward. And indeed, the number of people who are caring for people is undoubtedly going to increase as we go forward. I mean, the costs of living and inflation means funding professional care. And the cost of professional care, as we all know, is extremely high. So unpaid individuals, whether that be via hospices, paid carers or retirement homes, that becomes an almost impossible strain on many families. So it leads to unpaid carers having to fulfil that role. I was very surprised, I'm shocked, but nevertheless heartened by the fact that in Harrow, the borough that I have the honour to represent, there are now some 25,000 unpaid home carers. That's equivalent to 1 in 10 people whose lives are significantly impacted as a result of caring responsibilities. It is also the second highest of the London boroughs in this regard. And only 15% of those 25,000 actually receive any support at all in terms of financial recompense. So clearly, 85% are left fending by themselves, having to juggle a career, their family and other responsibilities as well. And I always think when I've heard other colleagues speak this morning that personal remembrances are actually very powerful in this regard as well. And I remember in my early 20s, when I was still at university, having to remotely care for my parents who were both suffering with cancer and eventually died of cancer at a very young, well, my mother at a very young age. The stress that it places on carers, their careers and the families is absolutely vital to recognise. Watching people that you love die is very hard and you'll never forget. But of course, having to juggle that with other caring responsibilities with other members of the family is vitally important as well. And so therefore, it's important that we do this. We also have to recognise that dependency on care can be sudden, placing people in almost impossible positions to deal with their circumstances of work. So the bill does create the powers for the Secretary of State to enable employees to go on work leave, quite rightly. The introduction of the bill will immediately help 2 million people, and that's got to be good news, and obviously is a high proportion of the population, and it shows how important this bill is. So, by allowing the opportunities for carers to take time off from work, we are in the position whereby the knock-on effect can be wrested and more productive when they return to the workplace. So benefiting the employer and the employee to maintain that balance. So I welcome the introduction of this bill and the emphasis it puts on the hard work that carers provide. It's an important step, but it's probably not the final step that we need to support carers. And I trust that the government will not only give this bill literally a clean bill of health and encourage it, but also keep under review what else we have to do to help carers. And I therefore offer my support. Unfortunately, I doubt that the Honourable Lady will be able to support my private member's bill in a few weeks' time because it does apply to England only. But nevertheless, I'm very happy to extend the hand of friendship on her bill.